Hello, friends. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for an awakening. And I don't just mean an awakening to the political corruption, no, not even talking about external events right now, because there are horrendous actions of people that currently are dominating the globe, and that is a war in the external physical realm. But let's just go deeper than that for a second, because all of this physical warfare starts on a psychological level. So let's jump to like the root of that problem, because there are a lot of slaves in this world still. The scariest part being that a lot of them are voluntary slaves that have just surrendered their self ownership because they have no fucking clue what that even means. And they have no idea how powerful and amazing they are as individuals. And this power is just given up before it can even be perceived. Because the individual is powerful. Y'all are great. And in this day and age, we are more powerful than we've ever been before. And I don't just mean in the physical sense, because it's true that we have much more economical power than we even realize. And this is why economics is such a viable strategy towards freedom, towards peaceful evolution. But I'm speaking about the internal. There are lions just sleeping. There are so many powerful insights and capabilities, creations and possibilities, strengths dormant in the human mind, sleeping in the human soul that are not being realized. Why not start tapping into this? I think it's about that time to start tapping into this on a real note. I mean, as libertarians, we're trying to create something that makes the current system of slavery obsolete. We're gonna need more means than just physical strategies alone, because even if we did achieve the most free and peaceful and efficient society known to man, what does that even mean if we're living in a society of walking skeletons, more like emotionally wounded zombies with no awareness of the constant ripples that they are creating in the world, let alone having beings that can start evolving and using this power of their actions, of their thoughts, of their emotions, of their spiritual connections to create the kind of reality that they want to live in. Because it's limitless. It is limitless. There are limitless possibilities. I'm so serious. We've only begun to tap into the mystery of consciousness, and we haven't even scratched the surface, and we've seen wonders beyond our imagination. Intelligence has made possible things that were once impossible. Quantum physics shows us that we know nothing about reality, and accessing the subconscious has produced profound effects of spiritual connections that make you feel things your ass didn't even know were possible. And I think the whole dominating rational side of reality is sort of seeing a flippity flop to the side of the unconscious, of the irrational, of energies that we can't really make logical sense of, because it's just so much more than that. And there's just so much to learn, because the electron is here, but it's also here, but it's more likely to be here unless you're observing it, and then it's here. But if you're measuring the position, you can't measure the speed, because the universe is wonky as hell. And I think that is liberating, because in a world of endless defeats and demise, terrible sufferings, war, poverty, greed, wicked darkness and hatred, losses just through and through in the entire history of our species, some of the most fucked up human experiences you could even conjure up have been lived through. But there's one thing that they can't destroy. They can't even touch it. It has carried itself through centuries, despite the constant violence from elitists. And that's the human spirit. That is the struggle of the message towards peace and unity and freedom amongst our species that has carried through for ages. And not only is it the most meaningful and the primary root of our existence, but it is truly the most empowering substance that we can tap into. And it cannot be destroyed by any measure of violence or tyranny or weaponry. It does not die. It has lived thousands of years, and it has outlived every empire in history, and it will continue to do so. So you really want to resist the state? Wake up that fire. That bitch is ready to come out more than ever. I think it's about that time, because that's the Achilles heel. That is the underbelly of the state, and that is the untouchable thing at the root of every action of theirs in the first place. Every brainwashing method, every fear-mongering technique. The whole reason that they feed us garbage instead of art, ego instead of soul, fear instead of love, hate instead of solutions. And it's truly the biggest tragedy of the government in the first place, that they try so hard to limit us and feed us this distinctly dull reality full of fear, because the last thing they want you to know is how damn powerful you are. In the root of your soul, this is a force that is capable of overthrowing them in a second, and they know that, and they fear that. They fear that awakening. You know how hard they try to push the human soul completely out of sight. They want these lost souls with no responsibility for their power, because that's how they can like harness that power for themselves, for their own little game that I just don't understand. And I mean, it's just so consistent, even economically in the physical world. They continue to reap all the harvests we sow, and it's the same way in the psychological realm. But this goes even deeper, because at this point they're trespassing into your skull. But guess what, motherfuckers? We can take that back no matter who we are, no matter where we are. And that creates the kind of ripples in this world that we are trying so badly to employ towards freedom. And perhaps another element that we should be mindful of too is just how much dark energy they purposely conjure up in this world with their weird little cohesive like rituals and gatherings, like circle jerking their power. It's just strange. It's truly a cult. So we best be conjuring up some positive, powerful ass energy for our own defense and offense. And I know I've just experienced so many miraculous and bizarre things in this life already, in the external and the internal, and the strange relationship that the two correlate when you start being observant of it. And I'm telling you, we are powerful. We are more powerful than we can even realize. I mean, the material world is already limitless enough in what you can experience and what you can create. But really think about how powerful your internal realm is, where you can create anything, any kind of experience. Your imagination is infinite. You have eternity within you. And even though you can't touch your emotions and you can't physically see your thoughts, that is some powerful energy that we all have access to, that we all can hone in on, and we can unplug from their dull ass reality that they're trying to feed us. Unplug from all their content for their agenda, because the subconscious is always watching. It is always observing. You have to be really mindful of what you're feeding your mind, even if you're not really consciously realizing the quality of it, because that's creating your entire experience. It's creating your perspective. So we need to stop mindlessly consuming bad content. And I'm not just talking about the news and the government, but even like Hollywood and the entertainment industry. And start even producing your own. Start producing. You really have to produce what you want to see in this world. And I know you all are full of a lot of creative power. So it's important to be authentic to your true self. Know thyself again and again and again and again, so we can unleash that lion, that universe, the infinite that is just laying dormant in people. And you know what I mean. I'm sure you do. At some level, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you are amazing. You are powerful. It is in your DNA. It's in your mind. You just gotta awaken that shit. Because what could possibly be more worthwhile for yourself as an individual? Because it is hard. I'm not saying it's not hard, but it's the most exhilarating experience when you start to realize how powerful you really are in your own life. In turn, your entire species, because people really do pick up on that. People pick up on that consciously and subconsciously. And when we can start to put that energy in motion, we are going to see that freedom. And just imagine the quality of that freedom when it's not just physically happening, but it's coming from a place of mentally free, evolved individuals, which truly, I think that's really the only way it could happen in the first place. When the human can just begin to comprehend how powerful their energy is in this experience, in every facet of their existence, the elitists currently controlling the world are going to be the least of our concerns. So unleash your inner lions, friends. It's time.